Hey guys, welcome back to the Python PlayBook series. So no guys, it's been a little while since the last upload and I do have to apologize for that. I recently had my graduation, so I've been quite busy preparing for that. Now we are going to be focusing on the Python PlayBook. So if you guys can't quite remember what we did in the previous video, it has been a little while. Here's a link up on top where you can go ahead and check it out and come back to this video when you're done. But in today's episode, we're going to be trying to calculate how to provide change, how to calculate change and then provide the least number of denominations when you are making a purchase. So you might be able to see this kind of nicely leads on from the previous exercise. So for the purposes of the video, let's just assume that this cash register has an infinite number of all the coins possible. For this video, let's also assume that the maximum note that you can provide change in is £5. So with those two assumptions, let's get straight to it. Okay, so as you can see here, we've got part of the previous exercise already up and we've calculated the total price that the person will have to pay for their purchase. So as I said, in today's episode, we want to calculate the change we have to provide. But before that, we have to ask the user to pay for their groceries. So if you guys remember to ask the user to input anything, what we have to go and use is do eval input followed by the question. And if you guys remember why we do eval, we do it because it allows the user to input a number, which is then assigned to a variable. So let's just call this variable pay. And we do pay equals eval input and then the question. And now if you go run this, we will have a slot to input our number, and let's just do £10. £10. So we now, if we go and enter, we have £10 or 10 assigned to the variable pay. So now if you go ahead and move on to the next section where it asks us to compute the total change to provide the user, this is also fairly simple. So I'll give you guys a second just to quickly do it yourselves. But in order to do that, we just want to go and make the variable change, and change equals pay, the amount the user is paying, minus the total price of the shopping. So if you go and do pay minus total price, that should give us the change. So once again, very easy, very simple. Okay, so the next step is a little bit more trickier. So we want to take a step back and actually logically think about this before we go into the coding. So you can see here, we want to calculate or compute the smallest number of denominations of the coins to provide the user with. So let's just think of a random example. Let's just say the change that the user wants or needs is £6.64. So of course, in your head, you'd think, okay, so we want one £5 note, one £1 coin, one 50p coin, and then one 10p coin, and also two 2p coins. And that should provide them with the change in the least number of denominations possible. Now, what we've just done there, we want Python to do. So in order to do that, let's work our way down. So we want to work with the £5 note first. So in order to work out how many £5 fit into the value for change, we'd want to go ahead and make a variable called num of 5. Now, of course, this variable can be whatever you want. I've made it a little bit more explicit so you guys have a clear understanding of what's going on, but naturally you want to make it as simple as possible so it's not too fiddly. Now, this division is different. As you can see here, we've used a double slash. And if you guys can't remember what the double slash means, go and check out the arithmetic operation video, which will be up on screen now. But this type of division is called the floor division. It allows you to figure out how many of one number fits into another. So in this case, how many of 5 fits into change. So now we have that, we want to calculate how much money is still to be paid to the user. So in order to do that, we want to calculate the remainder. And in order to calculate the remainder, what we want to go ahead and do is name a variable change, and change equals change, which is the change that we should be working with at the start, percentage sign 5. So that percentage sign is just providing us with the remainder after dividing change by 5. You might be wondering, why have we used the same variable for two different calculations? As you can see here, we've got change with one calculation and another change with another calculation. So the reason it's like this is because we're not too worried about the original change that we provide, because after we've done that first denomination, that original value just doesn't matter anymore. All we want to worry about is the remaining value of the change. Okay, so what we want to go ahead and do is also include a £2 because we want to account for any possible change that the machine must provide. So let's just go ahead and do the similar calculation, but do num of 2 equals change double slash 2, and followed by change equals change percentage sign 2. All right, so what we want to go ahead and do is repeat this for all possible denominations. Let's just go ahead and quickly do that. All right, there we go. So as you can see here, I've repeated the same kind of calculations for all the denominations. And as you can see here, the decimals are just referring to the pennies. So £0.5 is just 50 pence. So now we've done the trickier bit of today's code. So if you got through this, well done. Give yourself a pat on the back. But if you had some issues with it, feel free to let me know down in the comments below and I'll be happy to help. So now we want to go ahead and display the number of coins that we need to give the user, or number of notes that we need to give the user. So if you guys remember how to display anything in Python, we use the print command. Now in my case, I'm going to be literally explicitly writing each line out. So I'll be writing in this line, the number of £5 notes you're receiving is 1, 0, 2, however many, and then of course doing that individually for each denomination. You can present this however you want. You can take your time on it, make it a little bit more prettier, or make it look like a receipt after a purchase. It's completely up to you, but for the sake of this video and for time's sake, I'm going to make it explicit. So let's just do the number of £5 you are receiving is, and then this is just followed by the variable, which is num of 5. So in order to present a variable, we go ahead and do comma, and then num of 5. So what I just need to go and do is repeat this for all the denominations. So let's just go ahead and do that. And that is the code 100% done. So one last thing to do is to make sure that it works. Let's just go ahead and run through the whole page of code. How many apples do we want to buy? Let's just do 4. How many oranges? 10. I like oranges. Pears, don't really like them, so let's just do 0. And then we want to run through everything else, and we find out the total price is £4.80, not 8. And then we want to ask the user, or us in this case, how much do you want to pay with? So in this case, because it's £4.80, we'll just use a £5 note. Just go and do 5, enter, run. Alright, so as you can see here, we have the denominations shown clearly for us. And if we look at it, you can see it says the number of £5 you're receiving is 0, number of £2 you're receiving is 0, number of £1 you're receiving is 0, number of 50 pence you're receiving is 0, number of 20 pence you're receiving is 1. Okay, so this makes sense because as you see here, total price came to £4.80, we paid with a £5 note, change is 20p, and we have 120p outputted to us. Okay, so that is providing change completed. This exercise was a two-parter from the previous one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, found this very useful, and learned a few things. We're going to be moving up in the ranks in the next episode, so stay tuned. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below, and please give me your feedback. I'll be very, very grateful to hear them so I can improve and, do better on these videos. But for now, that'll be it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll be seeing you all later.